Kids are in bed?
Kids are in bed.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 57 of The Kids Are in Bed. I'm Tim Severson, and this is Jenni Severson. Jenni, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. Good. We're, we're hot off a spring break.
Hot off
A spring break. We're gonna talk about that, but
okay.
I think we're both still, I think for all of our family, the daylight savings into a 2-hour time change and then back in a week, I feel like it really upended all of us in different ways and at different times.
All right. Okay.
It was, so I'm still feeling the effects of that. I'm getting these weird surges of energy later at night that aren't really convenient. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, a surge of energy is always a good thing.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I don't
what could
hate
be wrong with it?
I don't hate it when it's happening. I hate it when the next morning comes. Like, I think one of the first nights we were back, I was up until like 3:15 doing nothing. And that's when you're just like, this is going to be bad. This is going to really screw up my schedule for a couple of days.
Did it all work out okay?
It worked out okay.
Good.
You know what one of the things I love about you is? Let me count the ways.
Don't stop.
As your ability to forget about things that you once loved and then fall in love with them again. It's particularly what I'm thinking about in this case is songs. We've had this new little thing that's been happening. We've kind of deviated from the typical morning playlists in the bathroom when the shower's going, and I've just been picking songs as they've occurred to me.
You have been on a heater.
Yeah, and that's really fun because they're just songs that are popping into my head, and so I play them, and then you come in and you're very excited, which is always very fun for me when you're excited about something. So
you've been choosing amazing songs of late.
Yeah, well, so one that is now kind of become my favorite song again is The Way by Fastball.
So good.
And so I feel like we had a talk about it, and it's one of those cool songs that was so popular when it came out. I think it hit the charts in 98, and it was their first single. And it's one of those songs, it's kind of like much different way, but like Semi-Charmed Life. Like,
okay, yeah.
It's like a bop, but when you actually sit down and read the lyrics, it's all about a drug bender. Like, it's just all about doing meth. That's really what that song's about. And when you read the lyrics, you're like, oh, so this song is based on a story that the lead singer was reading one day in the newspaper about an old couple that was going to some sort of like crafting fair or a quilting fair or something like that.
Okay.
And the wife had some stage of Alzheimer's, and the husband had recently had brain surgery. And despite this, they took off for West Texas to this festival, and they never made it.
Shoot.
So when he wrote the song, they were missing. And so then that completely changes, the as soon as you have a little context like that, anyone can see the road that they walk on is paved in gold.
They'll never get old and gray. It is a good song.
It's an amazing song.
And I want to dance to it right now.
And so once you know that context of how it was written, and this is what I've been going through lately, and very, very much in line with the way I've been viewing most of the world. I've just been like really thinking about it, and it's so crazy because while they were missing, the song kind of had a meaning, but then they were found, within, I think it was like 2 weeks, uh, in Arkansas. So they went the wrong way, and somehow they drove off a ravine, and they both died.
I don't think it matters which way you're going.
Yeah.
If you're going to drive off a ravine.
Yeah. Right. And so, but I was thinking about it, they were in their 80s. And so then when I hear the song and then you think about it, like all of a sudden it's like if we're 80 and we drive off a ravine together, I'm like, there's worse ways to go.
You're definitely driving me off a cliff. I'm now certain. So that's great. Just live the rest of my life waiting for that moment to occur. What the fuck?
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
I meant with the song as a part of it. It's very cool, and I think I saw a story recently. Now I can't remember, but that like the family didn't know. Yeah, that's what it was. The family didn't know, but one of the kids
Didn't know what?
That the song was about their parents.
Oh.
But heard the song and was just like somehow they made a connection, and then they found out it was, and they of course really loved the song, and it's this really cool thing. So
that is every lovesick teenager thinks that every song is written about them.
Oh, right.
And then this one really was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So great song. Throwback. Almost 30 years old.
It's so gross. I like how it's like, it's like a bop.
Mariachi inspired.
It makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me sad.
No, it's not. That's the thing. That's what I like about it.
Even after you told me what it was about, I was like,
it's still very romantic to me. It makes me. It actually can make me cry very easy if I let myself think about the old couple. Then I can cry very easily listening to that song. But
in my brain, they weren't 80.
No,
they were like 65.
Oh,
changes things.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
For the better or worse?
For the better.
Oh yeah.
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 It's a life well lived.
Right.
Yeah.
They forgot where they were going anyways.
Oh, no.
The reason I bring up that song is you had a throwback hit come into your life while we were on spring break.
I listened to it on my way home tonight. I was jamming out to it.
And which song was that again?
It's called Dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I know what it's called because I had to find it in order to play it. I wouldn't have guessed that what it was called. That's what it was called. But to find it on my Apple Music, I had to figure out the title.
So are you familiar with the whole love triangle Fleetwood Mac? You
yes.
understand that part?
It's pretty fuzzy.
Okay.
I know about it on the peripheral.
So Lindsey Buckingham, member of Fleetwood Mac. The song is about him when they were going through a breakup.
Okay.
So what I learned about this song, researching it, she wrote this song in Sly Stone's studio, which I just watched a documentary about Sly Stone recently, and that was amazing.
You did.
She wrote that song in 10 minutes.
That's wild.
And you can hear, we can listen to it after. You can hear the demo recording of her just at a piano playing it for the first time. It's like 7 minutes. They cut out verses for the radio, and it's a completely different song without drums. It's very interesting, but she is so good.
Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing.
For some reason, it is the summer anthem, spring break anthem of Mazatlán 2025. It was everywhere. It's like, why do I keep hearing this song?
It was their only Billboard #1 hit.
No.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
It is. And the song Go Your Own Way. You can go your own way. That's Lindsey Buckingham's kind of rebuttal song to this. You can call it thunder.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Rumors.
Interested.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do a deep dive into Fleetwood Mac. I mean, that's yacht rock, baby. We can listen to Fleetwood Mac.
I'm excited about it.
Day long.
I don't know. It just like had this vibe that I was just like really feeling.
What's so funny is it had a resurgence in 2020. Do you remember this?
No.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down?
And then people parodied it all over the place, including Stevie Nicks. And so it brought it back up to the charts in 2020.
Okay.
So when we got into the Pomonia at night coming from Mazatlan on spring break, the dude put it on, and it was just after sunset. He had blue glow inside of it. It's all open air, Pacific Ocean. And we were all just chilling out. I'm like, we were in there for what, like maybe 15-minute ride, something like that. It was so fun. So, Mazatlan. I wanted to start and just get out of the way. This trip for me, I feel like there's so many things in the world that are just aimed to make everybody scared. And like air travel, right? It's like, it's the scariest time to fly. It's awful, blah, 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 blah. Jude was terrified. We were delayed leaving, but we ended up landing in Mazatlan, 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Everything was perfect on the flight. Jude, that evening, said that he couldn't wait to fly home, which is just classic.
Yeah.
First day of vacation. Can't wait to go home.
So excited. So excited to leave.
But and then on the way back, the crazy I don't know if I'll ever experience it again. The entire plane was loaded and ready to go 40 minutes ahead of schedule, and the pilot just came on. He's like, well, we're good to go, so we're pulling away early.
That was weird. That was so weird. It was like, what?
Because the plane wasn't completely full. The exit row in front of us was completely empty.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Everyone was on board?
It was
ready to go. Turns out they didn't want to get left in a Mexican airport.
Yeah. It was an amazing trip. Or flight experience. Customs was great. Also, customs.
Yes. Pro tip on the app?
No, well, yes, that's great. I was just looking more for a little commotion for my performance.
You didn't tell them to have a good trip?
I didn't do anything awkward. I answered all the questions clearly.
Did such a good job.
Right? You forgot that it was even something you should be worried about.
I wasn't. I never am.
Yeah. Well, I am. Went great.
You crushed it.
Yeah. It was wonderful. Mazatlan, your thoughts?
Oh, obsessed.
Right?
I loved it. My favorite thing was, well, mostly all of it. No, we are city vacationers.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to swim with dolphins. I'm not trying to hike a mountain.
Yeah.
I want to get dropped in a city.
Yeah.
And just walk around.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do with a 9 and a 6-year-old.
For real.
We did it in Philadelphia for a a day and a half.
Yeah.
They did pretty good, but it was clear.
Yeah.
They were done. And so this was the perfect vacation for me because you have the beach.
Yep.
You have the pool.
Yep.
It's sunny. You have all-inclusive ice cream.
Yep. It's amazing.
Really, get the all-inclusive plan just for the ice cream.
Absolutely.
So the kids, they can get all of the fun they want.
Yeah.
So that I can get a couple hours every day of just exploring.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Yeah.
Very cute old town.
Yeah.
The Mazatlán, where you can drive up and down
Yeah.
the coast. So pretty.
So pretty.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's very different than Playa and Cabo. And I guess Cozumel, we've been out there. I don't know. Do people count Cozumel as its own destination? Or is it just kind of like if you say Cancun, you basically
No, I think you can stay on Cozumel.
Well, part of the reason that we picked Mazatlan was because it appeared to be not as resorty, touristy, trappy kind of feeling.
I liked that it had a historical center.
Yeah.
Part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Old part of town that we could check out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like founded in like 1531.
Yeah.
It's old as balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Spanish balls. and what's super cool about it is
Pacifico?
Yeah, Pacifico, the German culture
Was that what
there.
you were
So,
gonna say?
yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but the German culture bought the Pacifico, which I consumed solely as my cerveza of
I mean,
choice.
you have to drink Pacifico when you're in
The
literally
Pacific.
the city that it was created.
Yeah, and then the they don't have mariachis there. They have banderos,
Mm-hmm.
which is like I was really vibing on it one day because it was like off in the distance down the beach, and it just sounded like game day music because you could just hear like the horns and the drum. But it's like a mariachi mixed with like a Bavarian folk music, I think is what they say. But that's super cool. And then they have the Pomonias, which are little Volkswagen golf carts.
That was my favorite.
That maybe, I don't know.
So fun.
The fastest we went was maybe down a hill going like 30, 35. Did not convince Jude that it was safe though when there wasn't a door.
He's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He came around.
Yeah.
He came around.
He came around, but they were super super accessible and super fun. We just hopped into one in the front of our hotel, and I in Spanglish kind of just told the guy we wanted to go to the aquarium and do a tour around the city, and you were just like, make sure he knows we're going on a tour, not just straight to the aquarium, not just straight to the aquarium. It's like, I think he's got it. I think he's got it. But it turned out he knew exactly what to do. He took
Turns
us.
out he's done it a time or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, I was very excited when I knew we went past where the aquarium was. I'm like, because he was probably at least in his 50s, maybe 60s, older, really. But that I was like, this guy knows this city. Like he's gonna give us, and he did. He brought us up. They have this kind of overlook. There is an observatory with a lighthouse, but we didn't go over there. We were kind of on a hill, kind of parallel to it, and there was a cruise ship in port, and all sorts of cool. It's just very pretty, the whole place.
So pretty.
And the aquarium. I don't know what you were expecting out of the aquarium.
Not much.
And it was.
I was like, for me, it was a way to get the kids out of the resort and into the city so that we could explore a little.
Pueblo Bonito. If you stay there at Mazatlán, you get a free entrance. What?
You sound like such a nerd.
I know.
Okay, so when we found out there was a free entrance, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of dumb. Or not dumb, but just like, touristy.
Right.
Like, oh, you get this free admission to the aquarium.
Yeah.
So number one, it made me think that the aquarium was shit.
Right.
And number two, so it was much better. It was very, very lovely.
Yeah.
But we found out it was because this guy who founded the resort.
Yeah.
And all the Pueblo Bonito resorts,
Yes.
which is why we picked this resort, because we've been to one of them before in Cabo. Also founded the aquarium.
Yes.
So then I was like, okay, I see you, Mr. Pueblo Bonito. I see you.
Ernesto Cabo. He's a fine man and a great Mexican citizen. We enjoy your resort, sir. Talk about him.
Thank you so much, sir,
Gracias.
for your resorts.
Gracias.
No.
Why can't I say gracias?
Clementine loves Spanish.
Yeah.
She was very popular in Mexico.
Yeah.
We decided it was because of her red hair and blue eyes.
Yes.
That everywhere we went, people were very interested.
Well,
in
all
her.
three of you were the talk of the town. People were telling me I was lucky all over the place. Anybody tell you were lucky?
Nobody told you were lucky.
Yeah. Huh?
What?
Like three guys at least. Seriously.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I feel like blonde hair and blue eyes is kind of overrated. But like this reddish hair with blue eyes,
Yeah.
I felt like people were very interested in her.
Yeah.
People were very interested in her.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she was very into the language. And so
Yes.
she was saying adios every time we would
Yes.
get out of a cab, every time we would
Adios.
leave a restaurant, every time we would leave anywhere. Adios. And every time whoever it was would just give this big smile.
They really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a trip. She the kids really liked it. She said that she's going to move to Mazatlán, and if she has a baby, she will bring it to our resort so that I can see where she stayed the first time.
But then she said something about she would move if there was a hurricane.
Yeah. She'll make sure that they get out of there if a hurricane is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got stung by a jellyfish.
Yeah.
First time in the Pacific Ocean for all three of us. And she came out and she was like, I'm kind of itchy. And I was like, oh, let me take a look. And it looked like she rolled in like poison ivy or fireweed or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know there were jellyfish. I mean, I know there's jellyfish in the ocean, but I didn't know if, like, that was a common thing there. Or
Right.
what. And so I was like, maybe seaweed or whatever. But then the next morning, I went on a walk and found 2 jellyfish washed up on the beach. And I was like, well, there you have it. She took it like a champ. Not a tear.
She's so
Barely a complaint, honestly. Other than the initial 10 minutes. She didn't really talk about it again.
Yeah.
She just toughs it out.
She's so tough.
She's crazy. It's unbelievable. She's amazing. Yeah. I had a lot of fun taking pictures at the resort.
How many pictures did you take in Mazatlán?
Oh. Between the two of us and pictures and videos, it seemed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,138.
In the neighborhood.
Give or take. A couple of accidental pocket selfies. We took a lot.
Took some really cool pictures.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures and
You're becoming quite the photographer.
yeah, it's fun.
I'm very impressed with your skills.
Yeah, well, it's just slowing down. That's what I need to do. So just slowing down. But I did climb out to the end of a point, which is great because on Google Maps, like when you look at the satellite view, it really looks like I did some work to get out there. So I don't know like how the tides change over time, but when we were there, I just had to crawl out over some rocks. It wasn't all that dangerous to get out where I was, but it was amazing. I was very nervous our first night there because of the goddamn wind.
Listen, you need to seek help for this wind version.
Well, I was just like, it was just one of those things where I was dressed basically like this on the plane, and we got off, and in Mazatlan you have to, step out onto the runway and walk into the airport, and
Which is fun.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And it was hot on the tarmac, and I was like, oh yeah. But then when we got out at the ocean and went out by the pool, it was like, mid-afternoon, and I was in a jacket, and in the sun I was I was hot, but I was like, the wind is really blowing off the ocean. And then we went out for dinner that night, and it was freezing cold, and I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't read the forecast right. It's going to be this all week. Like, swimming's going to be miserable. But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was great.
Turned out to be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, Mazatlan is my kind of city.
Mm-hmm. I really loved also, we had a swimmable beach,
Mhm.
which I think, or at least when we were in Cabo, and I actually think in parts of Mazatlan,
Yeah.
there are beaches that aren't swimmable.
Right.
But we had a private beach on our resort that was swimmable, that was lovely. But what was really cool was right next to it was a public beach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like stepping across like the line from like the the public beach,
Mhm.
or sorry, being on the private beach over
Yeah.
to the public beach was like such a cool vibe.
Oh,
Everyone, it was like tailgating at the beach. Like everybody,
it was like
it's just a whole
100
vibe.
of the best family reunions happening at the same
Yeah.
time. Like, everybody was so happy.
So much happiness.
And there were so many umbrellas. Like, it was almost like pictures you saw in like the 60s and 70s of the beach,
Yeah.
when like everybody had an umbrella up. And yeah, we walked through there with a couple of cocktails, and it was just music and
Everybody was just happy.
so happy.
I loved that.
It was
public
so fun. And then there's also, like, on the beach, a lot of the like experience kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. I would never do it, but it was a lot of fun watching the parasailing take on and off. And then there was one time, and I don't know how our attention got drawn to it. I think Clementine figured it out, that one of the Bandero trumpet players went for a ride in it.
Yeah.
And he was coming in for a landing, and he started playing the trumpet while he was coming down.
That was pretty funny.
It was so funny. So funny.
You lost your wedding ring,
I lost my wedding ring.
but it was found
Jude found it.
in the find of the century.
Yes. We were digging for buried treasure because we had found a 10 peso coin. So we thought maybe there was more. So I was helping Jude dig, and my finger was wet, and it just slipped off and went into the sand, and I was just like, oh.
Gone
So we
forever.
looked for a long time, and I'm like, I think I lost it. And Jude was feeling really bad, and I was like, well, it's my fault. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Done it once before already. Oh well. And then, like, 5 minutes later,
He was so proud.
I was so happy. Yeah, that was great. The kids experienced firsthand, I think, the first real awkward moment with me when we were getting out of the hot tub. I don't know if it was our last day, but we were in the hot tub, and there were a lot of people in there. Like, the whole thing was packed, and we were trying to time it out, and so we were getting ready to get going. Maybe we were going into the city. I don't remember what, but it was like, okay, it's time to go. So they were getting out, and I was gonna go run and get them their towels. And so I wasn't all the way in the hot tub. I just had my legs in, so I just kind of spun and stood up and put my hand on the garbage can to stand up. But the garbage can on the top had an ashtray that wasn't used, but it was like a removable thing so you could empty it out. And it was on there crooked. So when I put my hand on it, it tipped, and there were 2 empty plastic, resort cups on it, which launched in the air and started clanking down the steps, followed by the top, which started making a louder thud down the steps. You were at the bottom of the steps, just staring up at me, laughing.
It was quite the commotion.
Clementine was staring at the water like she wished it had never happened. I didn't know what to do. Everybody was looking at me. I could feel that. So I just started going. Just acting like I didn't know where the noise was coming from. And luckily people laughed. But Clementine and Jude were quite embarrassed.
They were?
Yeah.
They're fine.
I asked them, what did everybody say after I walked away? And Clementine said something like, I don't even know. I was so embarrassed.
Oh.
But somebody in the crowd from the hot tub, a nice lady, said that was a great dismount. So
That was good.
yeah,
Good.
all's well that ends well.
That's what I
always
say.
But yeah, Mazatlán was the right choice, the right spring break.
10 out of 10.
Check it out. Or no. If you're into Mexico. Or not.
Avocados from Mexico.
Now, we just have to figure out where we're going next.
Okay.
Where's the next one?
I'm ready.
Where's the next one? Maybe we should go to like Tulsa.
No.
No. Okay. I've heard good things about Tulsa.
Unsubscribe.
Just surprise the kids and just fly to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No, stop. Why are you saying it so much? You keep saying it.
Probably going to research Tulsa, Oklahoma now and see what's going on down there.
I don't know why you do this to me.
No, we're not going to Tulsa. We'll go someplace much more fun.
Okay.
Any parting thoughts?
When we were in Cabo a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
The Killers was the song.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, that song played everywhere.
Mr. Brightside,
Mr.
right?
Brightside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the song of Cabo.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that, and so for me now,
Dreams will
is
always
just
be Mazatlán.
cemented for me. It will always be the song of Mazatlán.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, now that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Well, I'm happy that that I had the courage in the line at the water slide at Wisconsin Dells to voice the opinion of going to Mexico.
Gracias.
I regretted it instantly, but all said and done, man, that trip for me, like, it's kind of like Mazatlan for me is the Montreal of Mexico, where I felt very much like it was a European feel, but you felt like you were not in Mexico, like not in a tourist Mexico. You were in real Mexico. It didn't feel like there's as many like spring break kind of situations going on. There wasn't really that vibe. There wasn't like clubs that were going nuts. I never heard like anything like loud ever. It was just really quiet and just a really beautiful, beautiful city. And I think it's underrated. And I'm glad that we experienced it before everybody figures out it's underrated and it changes, because it's amazing. And I'm glad we did it. Okay. Should we go check on the kids?
Let's go check on the kids.
See you next week, everybody.